Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV and welcome to an earlier preview than usual this week because of course the game is earlier this week. It's Friday night football for Eddie Howe's Mags before a 2-week international break. The Toon head to the City ground on a Friday night, 8 PM kickoff, Sky Sports again, as we always seem to be on Sky Sports or BT or whoever these days don't. It's obviously just to get in preparation for European football next season, isn't it? Get used to the Thursday, Sunday, hopefully the Wednesday, Sunday or Wednesday, Saturday. And on the talk of old school tops yesterday, not that old school this one, reminds us of my school years, 0506, third kit, Northern Rock business, lovely stuff that one, big fan of it. Dug this one out of the wardrobe because he's enjoyed that video yesterday about the concept kits, the new potential kits for next season with Saudi in the middle of them. This time we had the local sponsor back, they did them with Northern Rock. Didn't have a band for them, did they? Bankruptcy from a bank, whatever it was. Anyways, let's get into the preview then. Before we do that, I've got to talk about today's sponsor. The sponsor of this video is Circl. Thanks to Circl once again for sponsoring this one. And why not kick off your weekend and join Friday Night Circl for the Forest versus Newcastle game. I'll be in there, get involved. Good luck with it. Scan the QR code, see if you can win some money of just a couple of quid. Join in. So, with this weekend's game being on a Friday night, Eddie Howe did have his press conference today, a day early. Obviously, normally you would have it on the Friday morning. Thursday morning, to be honest, not that much was going on in the press conference. Not much crack, not much information. Did find out that Anthony Gordon's injury is worse off than first expected. He's going to be missing for about 3 to 4 weeks instead of just 1 to 2, so that's not great obviously, but there is still hope that he's going to be back for the Man United game after the international break. Apart from that, he wasn't giving much away as usual, and he was just talking about Shelby. You know, we'll get into Shelby soon. Obviously he's going to be playing against Newcastle tomorrow night against his old club. He's yet to win in a Forest shirt. He's played for them 5 times since joining from Newcastle in January. Hasn't won once in that spell. Now Chris Wood, who has won, has scored for Forest, won't play. He wasn't eligible anyways. He was still ineligible even though the permanent move has happened. His loan move has been made permanent. He is an official Nottingham Forest player now, but there must have been something in the deal that said he couldn't play against her when it happened. So it didn't matter regardless because he is actually ill. He has got an illness. He is unfit, unwell at the minute, so he wouldn't have been playing anyway. So there's no Chris Wood. Doesn't look like there's going to be any callback for Forest either. They will call back. There will be Shelby though, and I tell you what, bound to score, isn't he? Bound to score, John Joe Shelby against us. I'll get into that later on. But for Newcastle, there was a big claim coming out in the rumour mill on Twitter is that Fabian Shaw is injured. Now Switzerland, like many other countries, have announced their team list for the upcoming friendlies, and he's not part of them. He's not a part of the travelling squad for Switzerland for the Euro qualifiers. Pope and Trippier are in for England as expected. We know Bruno is not in for Brazil. I think a lot of people were saying Willock should have been in for England, maybe even Dan Burn. But they haven't been called up. Probably we know Southgate more than anybody has his favourites. Although he did call up Ivan Toney, which was surprising with what he's got going on. But anyways, we're not talking about Southgate, talking about Howe. We're talking about Shaw actually at the minute. And it is that Switzerland came out and said he's not joining them because he's injured. Eddie Howe wouldn't say anything on that. But I guess he is going to be missing from tomorrow night's game. If he can't make the Switzerland squad, you would assume that he wouldn't be able to make Newcastle squad tomorrow night at Forest. So that'll be a miss if that's true. But then again, Lascelles can step in against his former side, who he's been linked with a return to. Remember, Newcastle signed Lascelles from Forest, what, 7-8 years ago now. He was captaining them, came to us, started captaining Newcastle, still is captain when he does start. Obviously, Trippier normally has the armband. But Lascelles could come in against his former side, and he's actually been linked with a return. You know, Forest have inquired about him, so that could be an interesting one, seeing Lascelles go back to the City ground. And whether he stays at Newcastle this summer remains to be seen. But I think Lascelles is a decent backup though. I thought he did well against Man City, and he can come in and do a job against Forest. For me, I'm not that worried about Forest. I think they're a good side. They're much better at home. They're a different animal at home. Away from home, they just get battered. They're just getting beat all the time. Not meaning to be bad, but they don't win away from home. At home, they are actually very good. When I said I'm not worried about them, I meant worried about them going forward as much. I don't think they pose that much of a threat. Now, I do like a Brennan Johnson. I do think Gibbs-White's decent. But apart from that, no, I'm struggling to look what Chris Wood, who's not going to be playing anyways. They've got that the main striker who they paid a lot of money for 1 year, or how you ever pronounce it. He's not playing. Because Forest do have a lot of players missing. Now, they have been unbeaten in the last 9 games in the Premier League at the City ground. And, you know, they've had some big scalps this season. You know, they beat Liverpool at home, they drew with Man City, drew with Chelsea, so they are a different beast at home. It isn't going to be an easy game. Friday night as well, both fans will be dead up for it. The atmosphere will be rocking. But when you look at it, this is the list that's out for Forest. Willy Bolly, McKenna, Awoniyi, Taiwo Awoniyi is how I'm going to pronounce that. It's probably definitely wrong. Dean Henderson, Bayern Cohn, Richards, Quixote, Hennessy, Johnson, all doubtful. So what's that? With 10 players listed missing there for Forest, unavailable. Just leaves them with 47 players left to choose from. And like I say, I'm not that worried about them going forward. I don't think they pose that much of a threat. So I'm happy with Lascelles to come in there. But like I say, I think it will be a hard game until we get the goal. I think until we get the goal, I think the doors could open. I think the floodgates could open a little bit, and you wait for my score prediction at the end. But so Forest missing a lot of players. Newcastle might be missing one or two. We know we're missing Gordon. Looks like we could be missing Shaw. We're missing Joelinton still. He fulfills his last suspension there. One game left on his 2-game suspension for 10 yellow cards. So he'll be back after the international break. So there is a couple of players missing for Newcastle. We'll see Matty Target come back in. We've been waiting for that. Eddie was asked on that. He said he's an outstanding player and he's ready to come in if needed. So will we see the front three start again? You know, is Jacob Murphy going to start again after doing very well last week against Wolves? Same goes for Maxi and Isak. Surely Isak did get called up for the Sweden squad, which I'm not happy about, because last time he was there, he got injured, went missing for months. Injured for months. So let's hope that's not the case this time round, but he can play for us tomorrow night. Got to start down the middle again. I would start that same front three. I think I would just lean into that same front three. I think it posed a threat. I think it offered stability going back as well, especially with Murphy on the right-hand side. Or you could bring in an Almiron, obviously did well off the bench, but I'd probably keep him to do the same. I think Miggy's deserved that rest. He needs that rest. He looked a threat when he came off the bench, so why not follow that same success that last week got us 3 points? And ultimately, it should have been an easier game last week. We should have been 3-0 at half time. I'd maybe bring in Target for Bain if he could, but Bain looked better again last week, didn't look as knackered. So I think we're looking good going into this game. Now it's the first game in the Premier League at the City Ground this millennium. Last time we played them was 1999 in the Premier League, obviously, because they went years without being there. We did play them a couple of years back in the League Cup, lost 3-1, Rondon scoring. And then we played them before that, lost 2-1 against Richie, 16-17 in the Championship, that was. So, you know, there's a lot on this game, and I think it is very important that we do carry on the momentum going to national break. Now, Eddie Howe's mentioned this in his press conference. It's so important that we keep this going. We get another 3 points, chase down Tottenham in fourth, make advantage of this game in hand. And even Man United, you know, who we've got next after the international break, who drew at home to Southampton. His ground will be made up there because Liverpool now officially out of the Champions League last night. Real Madrid beating them, 6-2 on aggregate, whatever it was. They've got nothing but the top 4 to focus on. So you've got them coming back. Chelsea are starting to get a good run of results. Was it 3 wins in a row or something for them? So we need to be winning games like this, because we do have tough games coming up still before the end of the season. We've still got to welcome Arsenal at St James's Park. You know, we've got Man United after the break, like I said. We've got Chelsea away. So there's big games coming up. Spurs at home as well. So that's a massive one, obviously. But we've got to get the job done first. City Ground, Forest, Friday night. And I think we will. I'm confident of another win. I think that one last week was huge. I think the training ground this week would have been buzzing. And before the lads go off to Dubai next week, who aren't on international duty, of course, get the win. Get the win for the travelling fans on a Friday night. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Newcastle win. 3-1 win. And I'm going to say Isak to score again. And I am going to back Shelvey to score for Forest. I just think it's doomed to happen, that one. Absolute doomed. Long range screamer outside the box. But I think Shelvey will just ping one in. And he won't celebrate. He better not celebrate. I doubt he would celebrate. But yeah, I can see that happening. But hopefully Shelvey still won't get that win in the Forest shirt. So Shelvey score for them. Isak score for us. Newcastle win 3-1. That would do me absolutely lovely. Set your week going up nicely, wouldn't it? You don't want that Friday night defeat to ruin the rest of your weekend. Awful that. Awful. So hopefully get the win. A couple of goals will be nice. Set ourselves up for the international break. But Forest will be thinking the same, you know what I mean? They're not out of a relegation battle just yet by any means. They haven't won the last 5 games, so they'll be thinking this is a good opportunity for them at home to get some points on the board. So it's not going to be easy. My scoreline might suggest it will be, but I think that'll be the case once we get a goal or so. But anyways, if it's 3-1, 1-0, not us, 3 points, back to Newcastle, international break, class. That's what I want. Cheers for watching, everyone. Make sure you drop your comments for what you think the score will be tomorrow night at the City Ground. Subscribe to the MattyTMC TV. and I'll see you on the next one.